Methead and Grand Channel. My name is Hood in London. This is the case of the Idaho quadruple murders. May the 4 victims rest in peace and may the correct justice be served. This is for fair use purpose. Grizzly True Crime has been working hard on this case from the beginning, and I came across this post which I wanted to share with you all. I haven't seen this before, but it is important. This is one of the Sigma Chi Fraternity boys, his mother. He texted his mother that night, and this is what she had to say. This is so hard to watch. Ethan texted my son at 2 a.m. and he's almost positive they were still at the Sigma Chi at that time. Based on what the text said, that wouldn't put them at the house until at least 2:10 to 2:15. My son called the tip line and reported this days ago, but they're still saying they think E and Zana were at the house at 1:45. Frustrating. Can you imagine this? So this mother, his son, texted his mother and told her that he saw E. He was positive, almost positive that he saw E at the Sigma Chi at that time. That's 2 a.m. So I believe E and Zana left the party by 2:15, and something happened to them on their way home. There's no other way to see that. So could it be possible that E was driving while he and Zana were in the vehicle? The fight that happened in the Sigma Chi fraternity escalated and carried on outside. Maybe the people he fought with at the Sigma Chi came after E and Zana. Could that be possible? Now that we know that DM was texting Eric G, the driver, at 2:10, she asked him if he was around, if he was still driving, and he said yes. Allegedly, DM, BF, Kaylee and Maddie were sitting in Kaylee's room and talking about the grub truck. Where was DM going to when she was texting the driver? If Ethan texted his friend at 2 a.m., that clearly confirms that he was at the Sigma Chi. What happened after that? Maddie and Kaylee were at the grub truck. So I believe the couple were at the Sigma Chi when the fight broke out. At 2:10, we hear the crowd yelling Zana and E's name. I believe that's when the fight happened at the Sigma Chi. Keep in mind, at 3:01, a 911 call was logged in from the Sigma Chi fraternity party. Was somebody trying to call the cops because they saw that E and Zana were getting hurt or were in a fight? This is what happened at 2 a.m.
People have fallen over the news for you. Sorry, I'm talking to Twitch stream. Oh, you're so good. Absolutely, thank you.
People have fallen. That is what the grub truck manager said. And then he said, sorry, I was talking to the live stream. People have fallen. What a sentence to say. Who has fallen? Was it Ethan and Zana? Because when he says people have fallen, this is exactly what happened.
If
we decide since we look so
people have fallen. People have fallen over the news for you. Sorry, I'm talking to Twitch stream. Oh, you're so good. Absolutely, thank you.
polar opposites, no between them.
Thank you. Thank you.
I got one chicken taco right here for you.
And then 194.
No, that's too damn bad.
Thank you. Love it. Very good. That's one again. Would you like chicken or pork? Got it. Wherever you're at. 950.
Polar opposites, no between them.
Thank you. Thank you.
I got one chicken taco right here for you.
And then 194.
No, that's too damn bad.
Thank you. Love it. Very good. That's one again. No, there's no noodles over here.
Okay.
Ethan, let's go.
Polar opposites.
That's what he says.
Thank you.
I got one chicken taco right here for you.
And then 194.
No, that's too damn bad.
Thank you. Love it. Very good. That's one again.
What is Jovita watching? Could that be Zan on the floor? Allegedly. You can clearly see whatever Jovita is watching, there are clearly a couple of people that these people are watching. So it couldn't have been BK. And if it's BK plus other suspects. What are these people watching? Could that be Quinn Kelly, DM's boyfriend? That is That isn't Beaky. How many people were at the crime scene? Is that Xana? You can see the long black hair. Poor Xana. They're yelling out Xana's name and they're watching these pictures. Say no more. Thank you, Chaos Sector, for giving me credit for my work. I really admire your work and your research, Chaos Sector. And I agree with you for one thing, definitely. You said Huda London ain't letting them sneak from the back door. Thank you for saying that. That is exactly what I intend to do. Make sure that I expose them as much as I can, because it's so wrong that these 4 victims suffered in their hands and this was just nothing for them. I personally believe over 40 to 50 people knew what went down and nobody's opening their mouth. Kaylee and Maddie were under surveillance, I personally believe. Many people at the grub truck were following them, and they had Shawalter with them, who wasn't escorting them, who was threatening them. William Thompson, Mr. Prosecutor, hope you're watching these pictures. This is one of your victims, Xana Kernodle, in my opinion. And it makes sense because Xana was found on the floor. These people couldn't be yelling out Xana and Ethan's name for fun. Something was going on. Jovito is an adult. He's a grown man. I don't even understand what he's doing with these frat boys.
Xana. Eaton. They must have said Xana's name over 4 times. That against Xana.
These are the pictures Jovito, Saeed, and the people at the grub truck were watching. I personally believe this was the crime scene. You can see how many figures are standing there on the right-hand side. These people were recording it. I believe they were paying Venmos for this. Is that Xana on the floor? This is Jovito, his phone device. What are you watching, Jovito? Where did you get these pictures from? I apologize that these pictures are blurry, but you can clearly see that they are watching something that looks disturbing. People on the floor, people gathered around. Look at that girl too. She's watching it. Hayden is watching it. What is Jovita watching? Somebody in black? Is that Xana? Jovito, Saeed, the Bandfield Boys, and the people yelling Xana should be put on the stand, in my opinion. I personally believe that is Xana on the floor. This is what Jovito is watching. Did the Bandfield Boys come from 1122 Kings Road? And Saeed is my question. Pay attention to the guy on the right, his hands. I'm going to zoom in and show you all that it's injured. Look at his left hand. And I believe he's hiding something in his hand, whether it's a weapon, a small blade, a cable. I don't know what he's hiding in his hand, but he never opens his hands. He's avoiding that. This is what Saeed is watching. Saeed and Jovito should be pulled up immediately. I'm not saying they're involved, but they know exactly where these pictures came from. The first time I found these pictures and I put it up and exposed it, I wasn't quite sure what I was seeing. I got a lot of heat, got a lot of people upset about this, saying that I'm making up stuff, saying that I'm not thinking clear. But then luckily, Steve G and his wife Chrissy came up in an interview and they said Kaylee was found in the sitting position. And you can see that clearly. Poor Kaylee, may she rest in peace. May the correct justice be served. Who is the person downstairs, is my question. Could that be Shawalter? Allegedly. Because the person has on a white hoodie. Shawalter had a white hoodie on. And Shawalter had don't know how to say it. One eye was injured. You can see his pictures at the grub truck if you zoom in. Sometimes I wonder if this could be BK. All I'm trying to say is that there were plenty of people at the crime scene. Let me know what y'all think about this and have a lovely day. I hope Ann Taylor pulls up the Bandfield Boys, Saeed, Jovito, all the people at the grub truck, and especially Jack D, Jack Shawalter, David Lodge, and David B. The reason I'm saying their names is they know exactly what happened. 4chan had a lot of truth in it. Anonymous told us exactly what happened. Half of my theories come from what I've analyzed from their behaviors. What I've read in the 4chan, the 19-minute theory, makes complete sense. We see the figures running. The Bandfield Boys, I've always said, are involved. They didn't come from Matt's house. They came from 1122 Kings Road, in my opinion. The timelines have been changed on purpose, in my opinion, so that it lines up with BK. I personally believe if BK is innocent, they called him there that night to set him up. The reason they did not call 911 is because they had to clean the house. I don't mean the crime scene, because it was a bloody crime scene. I don't think cleaning was done. I mean, they literally had to clean out the rugs in the house. Yes, I said it. And I'll back myself up with what I said. This is Bethany Funk is Venmo, allegedly. Riley paid Bethany Funk on June 21st, 2021 at 3:21 p.m. Crack cocaine behind the railies. Ain't my Venmo. I'm showing y'all what is written on Bethany Funk's Venmo. Y'all can be the judge of it. Amir Condon paid Bethany Funk on May 28, 2021. COKE, Coke. Was Bethany Funk dealing with rugs in the house is my question, because this is Bethany Funk is Venmo. This makes complete sense for me that they didn't call 911 straight away. The stuff was in the house, the rugs in the house had to be taken out. What was Hunter doing in the house every time? He was the first one to open the door for the police. So was his girlfriend, Emma A. So we definitely have someone doing rugs in the house. I wonder if that is the exculpatory evidence Ann Taylor's talking about. Bethany Funk, you have exculpatory evidence, allegedly. Wonder what it is. Was DM using Bethany Funk stuff, allegedly? Because the head wasn't clear. She doesn't remember much of what she saw. She wasn't sure if she was awake or if she was dreaming. She saw Zan on the floor, so did Bethany Funk, and they didn't do anything about it. Why were they calling their parents? These people were calling their parents. They never bothered to call 911. Doesn't make sense. They called their parents. They called friends. They were taking pictures. They even called Hunter and Emma before calling 911. Make this make sense. How did they not smell? People who are unalived. Why was the door wide open? Why were they taking pictures? This is what caught my attention. 2:53. It's very important with the timeline I've always spoken about. MM calls BF. Maddie Morgan called BF. I'm sure BF didn't answer. And 2:52, Maddie called Jack D, Maddie and Kaylee. Why was Maddie calling BF? Was she in trouble? Why was she calling Jack D? I don't think she was making a prank call. The poor girls, the poor victims needed help. But the surviving roommates did not bother to call 911, in my opinion. 2:53. I'm sure that's when the Sigma Chi Fraternity boys came and they were rummaging upstairs, like the mainstream news media said, that it leaked from the grand jury. DM heard rummaging upstairs and she thought it was the Sigma Chi Fraternity boys. I'm sure they came at 2:53 and they ran out of the house at 3:12. 19 minutes, like 4chan said. Poor Maddie, poor Kaylee, poor Zana, poor Ethan. They trusted people they shouldn't have trusted. Something went terribly wrong. I personally believe this is a crime of passion when it comes to Kaylee and the soccer. I believe this was personal revenge from the Sigma Chi fraternity, allegedly, who said they don't have cameras because their people were jogging back to the house. DM and BF know everything. And I will quote Chief Fry's words to ABC News. He said, "I never said they were witnesses. I said they were just there." Interesting. These two young women were texting their fathers, their mothers,